started off here, the ohms, representing the beginning here. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's just the beginning. And I got the tabla sound, shakahara, that's from India. Now the flutes from Japan. And then you're going to hear the didgeridoo from Australia. You're going to hear the bagpipes. And what I'm doing is just kind of creating a unified world theory, socially, a unified field theory socially and musically at the same time is what I'm trying to do. And the music is really, the pictures are complementing. I've got the harp, it's like, the harp of David or something maybe, And now we're mixing it with the cosmic reality of, the idea of humanity coming. Just sound effects, I compose a lot of this right off the drum guitar. Sound effects, breathing kind of sound effects. But just that ohm. And what I found is that when I listen to this ohm, it's very grounding. It's almost like you took a shower in frequency. And so I'm just starting very primitivism-like, and it's almost like the harp of David. There's a softness to it, but there's also a hardness to it. And like David was a great musician and a great warrior. These are just all kind of, and all I'm doing here is I'm just painting with sound. Painting with sound, and in a way I'm thinking primitivism, because when I did this piece, I was going to evolve from just the basic primitive things and the sounds of the world. There's the Japanese sound. To evolve up to the strings and the height of culture and that kind of thing. But really the height of many cultures I wanted to try to use in this piece. So I'm just painting with sound, the bell, trees, cymbal, crinkling. Just sounds. And I tried to think, also more and more I'm thinking of music like you think of a soundtrack. And so, that's percussion. Jim Roberts got a chance to do some percussion stuff. And that, the blend of just spices of sound. So I'm just blending the events from around the world, and soon I think here you're gonna hear the bagpipe show up. And that was a musician friend named Shalgyra Hunter Lee, and he has since passed on. But we have some of his emotion and some of his talent with the Iliad pipes. Percussion, we're just painting kind of soundtrack wise. There's the bagpipes. And my thing was, when I was using these colors, I was using the sounds as colors. And just painting it out. And it was just an experiment, like a Picasso would blend a lot of, different colors and maybe use them in a cubistic kind of way, in a quote-unquote unnatural kind of way, or a very creative way, taking a lot of license. I was trying to do that by blending so many different things. I blended the stuff from soundtrack, us walking through the woods, and thinking of music like a canvas. The tabla. I remember a lot of this when we recorded was just him kind of warming up on the tabla, and I wanted that for its randomness. For recording when people don't know that it's happening, so that you really catch them unconscious and not like ready, set, go. And that's how a lot of this track happened. A lot of this blend happened. So I'm blending synthetic as well as organic sounds. And the harp with that boom, boom is sort of the center part of the tonal part of the sound. And it's in the key of C, and as we evolve on, I'll introduce even more of the harmony. My goal for this was to create a primitive bed like civilization has evolved from, more primitive basics until we begin to understand one prime number in a lifetime. Maybe get two in a lifetime until now we've got so many, like numbers from pi, we've got so many of them that I can begin to look at them musically, like snowflakes in like in a driveway. You got so many, you're just trying to get them out of the way. That's where we are now with numbers, and I see numbers as music. I see numbers as music, and this whole experiment, man, with the golden ray, working on with Charlie, has been really special for me. And we're just traveling down the Ohm. We're just traveling down the Ohm, you know. But this, yeah. How's that sound again? This whole project represents for me a way of presenting music in a unified field theory kind of sense, where the laws of music can be applied to the laws of math, and maybe we can understand something socially from it, you know, enjoying it emotionally. Does it make sense to us emotionally? And so I really, with this project, I wanted to disguise what it was that I was presenting. And what I was presenting was a lot of natural mathematics as music, you know, and so that's in the formula of what I've used to play pi for you. But I'm creating it in the wild. I'm doing it in the forest. Kind of like Victor Schauberger, to understand atomic theory and the most advanced theory, he says you have to watch nature. So I'm trying to create the sound of just natural, out of a very natural, wild sound, to come out with these concepts. So this was my first presentation of these unified theories of math and music. Math and music as a unified field theory that shows us something about the laws of vibration. So it's just, wow, it sounds like it's just ohms and we're just relaxing. Maybe there's nothing even in there. But that's the way nature so often works. It seems like you're just looking at a weed bush and then you find out it's the cure for cancer. You know, nature's like that. You look at a rose and it just looks so beautiful. Maybe you never even smelled it. And then you smell it and you go, wow, it actually smells good too. Nature creates on these multiple levels. It's fascinating. So right there is the first hint of the melody from the harp. So now we've gone from just these notes, and it's nice because right here Charlie has gone to this theme where you see the embryo. All these influences hitting. And I'm triggering sounds where when I trigger the sounds, you hear bird sounds and everything. I have layered up on my pads. And Charlie has interpreted these very in the spirit of the whole music. So I just like, again, this whole unified theme without saying a whole lot of words, by just hearing the tabla, by just hearing the bagpipes, by just hearing the tabla, I'm pointing to India. By just hearing the bagpipes, I'm pointing to Ireland. By hearing the Japanese flute, you know, I'm pointing to Japan. You know, and so forth and so on. By pointing at these different instruments, I'm sort of bringing these different things together, these different worlds. Later on, you hear the violins and the string sounds, you know, from the Age of Enlightenment and that kind of thing.
So how many different cultures did you incorporate into this?
So far, you know, right in the beginning, you're hearing the didgeridoo. Oh, Australia. You know what I mean? And I got that right up against the Japanese flute. Ooh, so Asia. You know, the Asia sound. And then you got bagpipes, Ireland, you know what I mean? And then you've got, right in the beginning, you got the didgeridoo, you got the tabla from India. So you got Australia, India, Ireland, and Asia. Those are three different things. And what I want to do is, with that harp sound again, keep my fingers, because I want to introduce the African kora, which is the African harp. Beautiful sound. There's a guy that I named Yusuf. And so what I'm doing is like, this is the United Nations through music, because I think that a unified field theory is not only intellectual, like we talked about the intellectual stuff, but it's social too. What do we do with it? You know, because freedom is so awesome, man. We can take music and not tune up the strings. So we say string theory, but a musician knows you got to tune strings up. So